Hello everyone, welcome to Topper IAS. As part of our daily series, today also we will continue with our discussion of daily current affairs which have been sourced from Hindu as well as taken from PIB. Okay, so let's get started. So the first one is with respect to NAT grid, National Intelligence Grid. So what the heading of the article says is NAT grid to finally see the light of the day, meaning they are likely to be launch the NAT grid soon. So what the National Intelligence Grid aims to do is to provide a cutting edge technology to enhance India's counter terror capabilities. See, you already know India is a victim of terrorism, terrorist activities, n number of Pulwama attack, parliamentary attack, 2008, Mumbai terror attack also. So to effectively respond to such terror activities, the idea of national intelligence grid was mooted, particularly after 2008 Mumbai terror attacks. They thought of coming out with a national intelligence grid. So it is nothing but an ambitious electronic database. So this is an intelligence sharing network that collates data from standalone databases of various agencies, ministries of the Indian government. So that's what a kind of database, electronic database, which captures, takes data from other databases of government and intelligence agency, so makes analysis of it that will be helping in dealing with the terrorism activities, to counter the terror activities in India, and it is likely to be launched by the Prime Minister soon. So it is a counter-terrorism measure that collects and collates host of information from government databases, which includes from tax and bank account details like credit, debit card transactions, visa, immigration records, and all this rail and air travel also. These all data will be there. They will have access to this, and it will also have access to crime and criminal tracking network. See, basically this system connects various police stations in India. So database that links crime information including FIR, first information reports across 14,000 police stations in India. So crime and criminal tracking network connects police stations in India and has access to FIR also. So this database National Intelligence Grid will also have access to crime and criminal tracking network also. So remember, to counter terror activities, NAT grid is going to be launched. So as I said, the combined data will be made available to 11 central agencies. Now, NAT grid will be collecting data from all the databases of various government sources and intelligence agency. So that data will be available to various central agencies such as Research and Analysis Wing, RAW, Intelligence Bureau, National Investigation Agency, CBI, and all these units. So almost 11 units are there. These will be having data from. They will be having access to data from NAT grid. Remember. The next one is with respect to RT-PCR technique. See, transcription polymerase chain reaction. So this is a one kind of technique which is used, in COVID patients. So to identify COVID infection and all, and among that, saline gargle RT-PCR technique was developed by National Environmental Engineering Research Institute, and this institute is under Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. Okay, so they have come out with a technique for testing COVID-19 samples. So we call it as saline gargle RT-PCR. RT-PCR is reverse transcription polymerase chain reaction. Okay, and what they have done now is they have transferred the technology know-how to Union Ministry of Micro, Small, Medium Enterprises on non-exclusive basis. So because of once they transfer this knowledge, what happens is now this other there is possibility of commercial production of this technique, particularly because there is no patenting right. So this would enable innovation to be commercialized and licensed to all capable parties, including private, government, and various rural developments schemes and departments. So they can go for commercial production of these facilities, and this is particularly important given the rapid pace of vaccination we need, and because the technique this technique is very simple, easy to adopt. It particularly becomes important in rural areas, tribal areas, there where the infrastructure possibility is very less. So penetration of infrastructure is less in tribal areas, so there this technology becomes very useful. And next one is with respect to 2 plus 2 ministerial dialogue between India and Australia. See, basically 2 plus 2, two ministers from one nation, two ministers from other nations. So which ministers? Defense ministers and external foreign affairs ministers. Okay. So two ministers from India and two ministers from Australia. So this is the first time the ministerial level 2 plus 2 dialogue was held between India and Australia. See, earlier also there was 2 plus 2 dialogue between India and Australia, but that was, at secretarial level. Now they are upgraded to ministerial dialogue. So first time this has taken place, and two ministers, particularly defense ministers and foreign external affairs ministers, remember that. And they met for what they have a dialogue to discuss strategic and security interest of both the countries, and it seeks to establish diplomatic conversation between two countries. So they are coming together and discussing various interests of both the countries. And presently this meeting dialogue that was held focused on various issues, so such as in-depth discussion on bilateral and regional issues, like Afghanistan issue is there, maritime security in Indo-Pacific is also there, like increasing aggressiveness of China is also talked about, cooperation in multilateral formats and other related topics. So in global arena, when you want to talk, so these kind of groupings will bring nations together, countries together, and that will give them a collective voice in global bargaining and all those stuff in international forums, environmental forums, WTO and all. Then emphasis on ensuring free flow of trade, adherence to international rules and sustainable economic growth in the region. So international rules like freedom of navigation all should be respected by the countries. So that is what the this dialogue also called for, and invitation to Australia to engage in India's growing defense industry. So this offer has been also made. The next one is with respect to vultures. Sheltered for a year, vultures now at home with nature. See, basically, we have Jatayu Conservation and Breeding Center in Panjore, Haryana, and from there, the 8 critically endangered Oriental white black backed vultures were released into the wild forest. Okay, so what is the thing is, there are certain positive things, good signs. What are the good signs? Like these released vultures, which were earlier kept in captivity, are able to blend with the environment, untamed habitat, meaning they were not earlier adopted to environment, right? They were kept in captivity. So what the report says that they are able to blend with the environment. They are also able to manage, join the wild flock with other vultures such as Himalayan griffon. They are able to mingle, meaning of it is, and though they are not taking sustained flights as other wild birds do, but they are gradually increasing their time of flying also. So these are certain good things. So these kind of things, science will also promote further captive breeding and release of vultures into the wild forest. So basically, with respect to vultures, what you should know is India basically had able amount of so adequate number of vultures, almost around 40 million once. But once they were very common, but gradually what you have seen is the vultures are on the verge of extinction. So particular population of three species of vultures, basically called Oriental white-backed vulture, long-billed vulture, slender-billed vulture. They almost declined by 97%, and you also have Oriental white-backed vultures, which have seen a drastic decline of almost 99%. Okay, so what is the reason why there is the decline in their population? See, basically because of uncontrolled and misuse of veterinary usage of non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. See, drugs like diclofenac you will come across, they are used in the veterinary, meaning for animals to control the inflammation of animals and all. But what is the thing is, once these animals die, a carcass will be eaten by vultures. Vultures actually will be feeding on the dead animals. So this diclofenac will be there in the animal, and moment vulture consumed it, it will be entering the vulture's body, and that is a life threatening for vultures. So that is why the decline of population of vultures has been seen in India. And next one is with respect to Delhi. Delhi records wettest September in 77 years. So still with 19 days are left to go to complete September. Already Delhi has received highest rainfall for the month in 77 years according to the IMD. So city till now has received 380.2 mm rainfall in September. Highest was 417.3 mm in 1944. So this is second. So this is also the wettest monsoon season in Delhi over last 46 years. In 1975 there was 1150 mm of rainfall during the monsoon. The highest rainfall was 1420.3 mm which was received in 1933. So this is also one of the wettest. And another thing is, normally Delhi records a rainfall of 53.6 mm of rainfall during the monsoon season. So basically what the September month has also seen highest rainfall, and monsoon rainfall has increased in Delhi particularly this year. See, question comes, why increase and all? See, already monsoon is highly unpredictable, highly variable. So that is why the reason, sometimes excess rainfall, sometimes deficit rainfall. Added to that, present climate change issues will also be adding a higher volatility, variability in monsoon's rainfall. So that is how you can reason it, why the Delhi has recorded highest rainfall. So that's it for today. You can also download the PDF of this document in the link that is shared below, and do download Topper Eyes Institute app so that you get access to a number of these videos which will be helpful in your UPSC preparation. So that's it. Thank you.